Hello, today I'll be doing a buffer overflow exploit using the tutorial from the grey corner by looping. The tutorial's right here, and I'm going to assume straight off that A, you already know the required knowledge, and B, that you already have the system set up. As he explains in the tutorial, if you don't have a Windows XP virtual machine, you can find it using these instructions under the system setup right here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, first off, let's find out why this exploit is caused. What he uses is backtrack 4, however, in my case I'm going to use Samurai. You can find that online, just do a simple Google search. Here you can also download the Minishare and the Holly debug that are needed for the exploitation. Okay, the first step that he does is he attaches the program in the debugger. So if we go over to my Windows XP machine and we load up Holly debug, you'll find that you can simply either open it or attach it. Most of the time you'll just want to open it, in this case, as we're not attaching to any process and that is running. Also, the advantage is that you can actually control everything about the program by running it this way. So if I go to my desktop and open up the Minishare, you'll see that it attaches, and now we have full control of the program. Go back. As you can see, that's a bit more detailed of a picture. Okay, so now we come down here and we've got the debug program ports in the debugger. As you can see, we have the same thing over here. Okay, now the next thing he does is he goes to the main windows. I'm just going to explain him quickly, you don't really need to look at the tutorial for this part. This is the CPU instructions, so this is all of what the CPU is going to execute in assembly code. These are all the registers that we're looking at, so EAX, ECX, EDX, etc., etc. The ones you really need to know are EIP, which points to the next instruction, and also ESP, which points to the stack. Now the stack is down here, and basically it's the last in, first out, so the last entry in will be the first entry to come out. So this one was the last one in, but it will also be the first one to come out. And down here we've got all of the memory addresses and the corresponding assembly, if there is any, or ASCII, etc., etc. Okay, so a bit more. Okay, so now in triggering the vulnerability, he explains what actually causes the vulnerability. So if you want, you can load up the security advisory. And we see that it's due to a GET request. Highly critical. And then, so we get the idea that it's caused by a boundary error in handling the HTTP GET request. So if we make a rather large GET request, then we should be able to overflow it, as he shows here. If we find the format for GET request and then follow that by a long string of 8 characters, HTTP 1.1, new line, and character 10 times 2. The next thing you want to do is basically type up this code here and try and get that to work. Of course, what you want to do is you want to replace this with the target address of your Windows XP machine. So, if I go to the command prompt, clear this up, clear us, I am way too used to using Linux. Config, and I'll find my local IP address provided that this is still connected. Yep. Actually, I might need to renew that if I just do that quickly. IP config /release. You might need to do this if you're switching between something. Oops. If you're switching between like a native environment to a host-only environment or something like that. Okay, so that's my IP address that I'm going to be using for this machine. And if you'll give me a sec, I'll be right back.